some nerd power. It's the Falcon Paladin Hour, a podcast by Falcon, Paladin, and Somicron. Falcon hates puns and thinks that they're all wrong. One's American and one is an Aussie, talking about StarCraft 2 and the esports scene.
Hello and welcome to the first of winter. It is cold.
The first of winter is certainly warm here.
Yeah, is it? Is it getting warm?
It is. It certainly is.
Yeah. Sounds nice.
Yes. The warmth is nice. It is currently 60 degrees Fahrenheit.
It's not very warm.
Tomorrow it's going to get up to 70. I didn't say it was hot.
Still not
I didn't say it was hot.
Still not very warm.
I didn't say it was very warm either.
You said it was warm.
Yeah, it is warm.
And I don't think it's even close to warm.
That's like going outside with shorts and a t-shirt on.
You still have a hoodie.
Yeah. That's because there are some efforts I put into keeping my house cooler inside than it is on the outside. It's not
insulation
in here.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, it's insulation, but also like if you leave your windows open in the morning when it's cooler, it sucks all this cool air in. Then you shut the windows.
You don't.
And then it keeps it cooler for longer. And if it doesn't get crazy hot, then it doesn't really raise the temperature inside all that much. But it only works so much when it's 95, 98 degrees outside. So like you can have all this cool air trapped at 10 a.m. But I mean, the sun's just baking you. And by the time it's 2 p.m., you're just like, all right, air conditioner time.
Right.
Yeah. It only works to a certain level, but yeah. Anyways, yeah. Happy podcast day.
Happy podcast day.
Let's see. Been playing a lot of Elden Ring.
Yeah.
I did stream a bit of it over on Discord the other night, and Somicron was there watching me fail miserably for a long time.
I did. Yeah.
But he did save me, though, because I kept dying to this boss. I've got a melee character, and fighting another melee boss inside a cramped room is not something I'm good at.
A cramped dark room, in which if you want to be able to see what you're doing, you need to like wield a torch or a lantern, I guess.
And it uses one of your hands, and I'm a two-handed weapon guy, so...
Well, you're a dual-wielding guy, not a two-handed weapon.
Right. One weapon in each of my two hands.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Yeah, so I can do it. It's just, if I don't have a lot of room to scamper away, kind of reset.
Right.
Then I'm in trouble. That's my strategy. Is I scamper away like a mouse, and then I run in and I go, and then I run away again. But the problem with this guy was I'd go in and then I'd try to run away, and he's like, "Aha, you're still within reaching distance," and I'm like, "Ah, crap."
When you actually go into that room, if you go all the way in, the door closes behind you.
So,
yeah,
it's even worse.
You couldn't even run away if you wanted to.
Yeah.
That guy was.
And then Somicron was like, "All right, I'm tired of watching you fail on this. Can we cheese this at all?" And I was like, "No, we must not cheese this." And then after like 20 more deaths, I was like, "You know what, Somicron?
Let's try cheesing this."
Fine idea." So yeah, figured out I could like drag him to the door, but he was behind the door. He's like trapped behind the door, but the door was still open.
Right, he was hugging the door frame.
Yeah, and he was kind of stuck there. He couldn't navigate his way around the door to the entrance. So I could hit him kind of through the wall. It was pretty glitchy. It was honestly a really cheesy fight for that reason. So I could take little bits of damage off him by hitting him, but if I got too close and stood too close to him for too long, he could hit me at back. So it didn't make it trivial. It still required a bit of paying attention to what was going on, but it made it so much easier than it had been. And then I think somebody ambushed me too, didn't they?
Yeah, there was some guy who like walked up from the lower level in the middle of it, and you're like, "Hey, you stay out of this." He nearly killed you.
He almost killed me. He blindsided me while all my attention was on this boss trapped behind this door, and like it was quite a thing. So anyway, since then I've done some research. I figured out some different ways I can upgrade my weapons, and like I added a bleed effect that's kind of nice to have, and I've leveled up a couple times. So
cool.
Yeah, it's going better. I did cheese.
Another
I did
boss?
cheese another fight though. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So further on in that castle, there's like this crazy spider-ish human amalgamation of limbs monster.
Okay. Yep.
So the NPCs talk about this concept of grafting in the game, and they're not like quite explicit about it, but like apparently there's some kind of magic where you can graft enemy or friendly arms and legs and things to your body and make yourself a big, huge, scary monster.
Sounds horrific.
It is. It's truly horrific. So it was a giant spider, and like spider looking thing. I'm not even sure if it was a spider, to be honest. It was just such a weird visual. Anyway, and so it was so big, and I fought it once, and it just had this sweeping, because it had arms on all the sides, so it would attack, and I'm like, okay, I can't get away fast enough because its arms are so long and it's sweeping. So I figured if you pulled it a little bit to this elevator, while the elevator was down, it won't, and you stand on the other side of the elevator, it won't come at you because it can't fit around the side.
Right.
And it doesn't want to go down the hole. So it just kind of like paced back and forth there, and I shot it with fire arrows until it died. That's the climax of that story.
Wow.
Yeah. I've killed some other bosses legitimately, though. But every once in a while, I'm like, oh, let's see if we can figure out some kind of a tricky way to do this.
Channel your inner Protoss.
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. She's the hell out of it. Yeah, and there's another one today. There's a giant bear boss that is just fast, and he hits you for a ton of damage, and he does a bleed effect on you. But when you go to fight him, I don't know how this happens, but a bunch of wolves drop from the sky.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Like,
sky wolves.
Yeah, sky. You hear this, and I'm like, I don't see any wolves, and it's like 7 wolves drop from the sky, and I'm like, oh,
right,
wolves. So the wolves and the bear fight each other.
Oh, that's
apparently
nice.
They're natural enemies. I don't know if that's true.
Could be.
So yeah, so it made the fight a ton easier because the bear. This has to be intended because every time I went back to fight this bear, the wolves dropped out of the sky and started fighting the bear. So the bears will aggro you if you get too. The wolves will aggro you if you get too close, and the bear will try to fight you too if you draw too much attention. So you have to like kind of sneak it and like hit the bear, and then hope he still wants to fight the wolves because there's a bunch of them and there's only one of you.
You can't just like wait for all the wolves to die or the bear to die.
Well, the wolves can't kill the bear. Okay. They barely do any damage to it at all. Haha, barely. They barely do any damage to it at all, and he will kill all the wolves given enough time. And then he's like, "Yes, a delicious human. Let me eat you."
Right.
And then I died a bunch because he's real scary. But again, another fight where it's just you kind of sneak around the edges and feel real brave. And kill him that way. Yeah.
Bravery is your middle name.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. It's nice though because I am progressing. So I went are these giants that just kind of roam around, and the first time I tried to fight a giant, it just kicked my ass.
Right.
But now I can handle them. And it's like, okay, so I'm getting better at this game. That's nice. It's nice to have a sense of progression on some level, at least.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So anyway, it is good. It gives me good stories. Yeah. So like one final story, I went to the top of a tower, like fought my way up there, and there's a chest. And to this point, chests have all been good things.
Okay.
And this chest teleported me to, I don't know where it was. It was like some castle I'd never seen before, and there was a giant fire monster who was like, bring it. And I was like, no, I'm not doing that. Help.
And you just died.
Yeah, so teleportation chests are a thing I need to watch out for, apparently.
Huh. Okay.
I don't know if you can dodge them.
You just don't open them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you know what it is.
Yeah, if you know what it is.
But I'm wondering if like I opened it and I dodged fast enough, it wouldn't suck me in.
Oh, you dodge out of like the teleportation circle or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Try that. I'll report back.
Yeah, try that for science.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably could. Anywho. Yeah.
Cool. Glad you're having fun.
Thank you. It is more fun than I thought it would be, so that's nice.
I've been playing Skyrim in VR.
And I saw the best Reddit post yesterday. It's like, hey, do you want to feel old? Skyrim was released 11 years ago today, and 7 years ago today, and 5 years ago today, and a year ago today.
Which is really funny. Yeah.
It is. So what version are you playing?
I'm playing the VR version.
Oh, yes. The fun one.
I think counts as the special edition.
Uh-huh. Right.
My complaint is it's too much like Skyrim. Right? Which you wouldn't expect that. But it's like it doesn't do enough with the VR system to feel like it's like I ended up just playing it regular Skyrim instead of VR because it's like other VR games you'll have like weapon slots on your body and you'll be able to reach down and pick things up that are just like in the environment and walk around. And this you can't. You can pick things up, but you pick them up in the way you pick them up in Skyrim, which is you press and hold A, and then you just kind of have it float above your hand instead of like grabbing it with your hand like you would in VR.
Yeah.
Weapons aren't stored in your body. You just like click the grab button on your left hand, and then they appear in your hands.
Okay, it's kind of how Half-Life Alyx does it, right? You like teleport stuff to your hand.
Well, Half-Life Alyx has a very small inventory system where you click in the thumbstick. This is on the Rift, so I don't know what the like controls are on other systems. But you click in the right thumbstick, and then you have like gun, right?
But I didn't mean picking stuff up.
Right, in Half-Life Alyx, you can just like anything you see, like a beer bottle, you can reach down and pick it up, and you have it in your hand, and then you can throw it.
Oh,
right?
You don't like force pull it to your hand, like whoa.
Well, you can do that with like gloves in Alyx, but
okay, but you don't have to.
But you don't have to, right? Like if you see something within reach, you can just physically grab it.
Whereas in Skyrim, you do the hover thing with everything.
You do the hover thing with everything, but there's no distance on it. You have to be right up on the thing. There's no like grab and pull. It's just grab and examine. So if you see a sword on the ground, you have to either tap A to pick it up, or tap A to go into the inventory of the person who is carrying it, move it to your inventory, load up your inventory again, and then equip it. And then when you draw your weapons, you push the button to draw your weapons. Instead of drawing it from your body, you push a button and summon it to your hand.
Gotcha. Okay.
So it's just less immersive than you would expect from a VR title.
Mm-hmm.
It's very, very bare minimum. But it does make Skyrim magic better because instead of just being a blowtorch, you're a blowtorch, but you can actually move your hands in separate directions at the same time. So you can attack in like in 360 degrees is what I mean to say.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. That's kind of neat. That's fun.
Makes that a bit more fun. Yeah. The biggest disappointment was lockpicking. So you know how Skyrim lockpicking works, where you have a little lockpick.
Yeah, I remember.
You use like your mouse to turn it to the left and right in WASD. Yeah, it still uses that system, right? You use the thumbsticks on the controllers for the VR to like one for the lockpick and one for the torque wrench or whatever. Instead of like using your hands, you just use thumbsticks.
Oh,
it's basically the same as a console version.
Right.
It's like it's so obvious the integration that you could have there, and they just don't do it.
Who developed it? Did Bethesda make this thing? They made it in-house? Okay.
I mean, probably. Let me have a look. Yeah, developer just lists Bethesda Game Studios.
Huh. I'm kind of impressed that they managed to pull it off this well. Right? That all right, you're Bethesda. All you've ever made are not VR games. Port this to VR, and they did an okay job with it. Like, I'm honestly shocked.
Well, I mean,
it'd be bad.
The game's had 11 years to work out its kinks, right? They didn't. It's
but the VR side of it's different.
Right, but they didn't do much with the VR.
Well, you can fire blast hands in different directions. That's something.
Okay, so they worked out. They used the Rift's like API for pointing. Right? They were able to integrate that into their game's code instead of aiming.
All right, fair enough. I'm imagining it's harder than it probably is.
It's probably way harder than I'm making it out to be. But
but they did it. Congratulations, Bethesda development group tasked with making the VR version of Skyrim.
You did an okay
I bet they were
job.
like, I bet they were like, "Whoa, thank goodness! At least it's not just a straight port to like another console. Because at least it's moderately interesting on some level. I've made Skyrim 8 times already."
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. I was hoping not to be put on the smart fridge edition of Skyrim.
Man, my buddy down in Texas, he got put on the to the toaster division. Boy, you do not want to be on that. They're having a real tough time with button mapping. They've got jump nailed, but that's about it.
Every morning, as you're waiting for your toast to pop, you play 35 seconds of Skyrim. That's good. Yeah, so I think we've talked about this, but when I played through, I just kind of ended up being a stealth archer because I like killing people from a million miles away.
Yep.
And then like so many memes on Reddit, like everybody just plays stealth archer. Like I'm gonna do a 2-handed axe build this time. And then 20 hours in, you're like, why do I another bow sneaking around? What's happening?
Oh, I was annoyed that crouching, like just me crouching, did not enter stealth.
Oh, what do you have to do?
You have to push down on the thumbstick.
Lame.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not as good.
No.
You think that wouldn't be too hard?
It wouldn't be too hard, but I think it would give shorter people an unfair advantage. And it might just be that I'm too tall, that when I crouch, it still thinks I'm standing at a normal person's height. But if you're already like...
That might be what it is.
If you're already a small person, I'll just think you're stealthed all the time.
Maybe so.
You
know, I just thought about that. I do always play sniper of some kind in these games, but for whatever reason, I'm melee build in Elden Ring. The game that punishes you hardest for being melee. Because there are builds where you just get a bow or a crossbow and you just sit back and snipe things from on the top of a hill, right?
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, with this game, I'm
just like, nah.
I'm mixing it up. I wonder what that's all about.
Midlife crisis.
Instead of buying a Ferrari, I'm playing melee build in Elden Ring. That tracks.
Yeah. I mean, what else could it be, really?
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm glad you're here.
Me too.
So work news today.
Oh, work news.
So they're supposed to tell us what our raises, if any, were going to be last week. And then Friday ended, and there was nothing. No news. Not even like, we'll get to it later. It's like, nope, no news at all for management. And everyone's like, all right, guess it's 2 more weeks. That's the joke, is it's always 2 more weeks. And so far, it's been 2 more weeks.
Fair enough.
Yeah. And so this morning, my boss, again, who I'm friends with, I've been working with him forever, and he's just in the boss role because our previous boss got laid off. He was like, how's everyone doing today? And I was like, I'm waiting on news about our raises. And he was like,
Do you think he's just like, he can't wait to, like, he doesn't want to break the bad news?
Well, so then at like 3 in the afternoon, he's like, hey, can we do a video call? And I'm like, sure. So let's see. Either I'm fired or there's some good news here, and I don't know what it is. So
were you fired?
No. So yeah. So he called, and we just kind of like talked for a bit, and he's got an immunocompromised kid. So they do not leave their house at all for any reason.
Right.
So he's going crazy about that. So we just had some talkings and some commiserations about that stuff.
Right.
And then he was like, well, all right. So the reason I called you is because we got your raise figured out. And I was like, whoa, okay. Kind of it's like a combination of came out of nowhere and like it's 3 days late.
Okay.
Right. Anyway, so it's all of 3.5%. Woo.
Man,
which is like,
that's keeping
honestly,
up with inflation.
Not even close. Because I was worried because one of the one dev who the only other person who's been on this cloud team longer than I have, he got 5%. And I was like, if he can't get something to even come close to keeping up with inflation, none of us are getting anything that comes close to inflation.
Right.
By golly, was I right. So, I don't know. It's better than 0. It's fine. I'm not overjoyed about it.
Right. What is the inflation over there? 8.3.
Well, yeah. Well, and I read a story. Yeah.
Okay.
I read a story about the inflation in my region.
Okay.
The mountain states.
Right.
And yeah, back in April, it said mountain region, including Montana, Wyoming, Idaho, Nevada, Utah, Colorado, and Arizona, as at 10.4% inflation.
Whoa.
So we're higher than the national average. Yeah.
That's rough.
Yep.
I feel for you.
Yeah. So it helps offset the inflation by a tiny bit, I guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
Tiny bit. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, good luck.
Yeah, thank you. Again, better than nothing.
Better than nothing. Better than nothing, which is what I got.
Yeah, good point. I mean, that's what I got last year. I know the feel. Well, I don't know. The frustrating thing is, like, my boss friend told me this. It was like, it's just frustrating when you look at it, what the percent is in a lump sum over the year. And you're like, that's not a lot for a legitimate company.
Right.
Like, it shouldn't be a struggle for them to provide you with a 3.5% raise. But for some reason, it is. And so, I don't know. So either they suck or they're in a lot more financial trouble than maybe they are letting us know.
My assumption is they just don't want to do it. They can save that themselves, is my opinion.
Yeah, I guess. It's just they've been having so much trouble hiring new developers and new QA people that they're trying to fill out the team, and they just are struggling with it. And it's like, so what you're doing here is making people want to leave, which increases your staffing problems.
Right.
Why are we doing it this way? Yeah.
Raises a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Whew, good times.
Not really.
Yeah.
But I mean, the nice thing is it is backdated through like
April?
Yeah, April-ish. Maybe even into March.
Oh.
So there'll be a little extra lump sum in my next paycheck. That will be taxed as a bonus by the IRS. So they'll take a big chunk of that, which is always a problem with bonuses at work. But
I mean, it's better than not having it.
It is. It is.
Yeah.
But it would have been better just to have the raise for the whole time, because that doesn't get taxed as if it's a bonus. So.
Right. But I mean, I would. Well, it depends if it would move you into the next income bracket for income tax, or does Utah not do income taxes? It's just federal there. Your guys' tax system always confuses me because it varies by state to state, and then you have federal, and I don't understand that either. It would help if I lived there and had to deal with the situation myself, but
yeah,
I was talking to someone in Alaska, and they were like, "We don't have property tax or income tax. We just have shitty roads." And I'm like,
Neat. Let's see. So the current tax. Oh, okay. So it's a single tax rate for all income levels in Utah. It is 4.85%.
Okay.
So it's 4% there, and then the federal tax rate is progressive.
Right.
And the raise did not take me outside of my tax bracket. So yeah, I'm living here, fine,
getting by.
Yep. Getting by. And I mean, I don't know. The nice thing is I do have a bit of wiggle room with income. I don't have any car payments. I paid off my student loans years ago. Like, really, the only big payment I have every month is the mortgage.
Right.
So I can understand someone who has a mortgage and a student loan payment and a car payment and maybe 2 car payments, and then inflation comes along and they're already squeezed, and then it's just worse. Yeah, I can see how those people would be struggling a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, inflation gets any worse, you're only going to be able to send 2 of your kids to college. Pick the 2 favorites, and the other one can get a job at 16.
Good point.
Well,
I mean, I don't know. Trade school is not that bad. Electricians and plumbers and stuff get paid a ton.
that's true. That is true. Yeah. I mean, yeah. If that's what they want to do, if that's what they want to do.
That's the thing. And I've tried to be very clear with them always that, if you want to do a trade, great. And if you want to go to college, great.
Mm-hmm.
I will really recommend you get a degree at college that can support paying back those student loans, though, because a lot of people have made that mistake.
Right.
Yeah. Bruh.
Brr.
So your work situation, you're supposed to be on a sabbatical.
I mean, we don't use that word here.
You're supposed to be on an extended break from work.
Not supposed to be. It's supposed to be implies that I've tried to organize it. I haven't. I've gotten it owed to me now, so I've earned long service leave, or I've accrued it.
Leave, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like you're in the military.
Long service leave, yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm not required to take it or even try to take it immediately under any circumstance.
Right. So, I remember that. But it was planned to be taken.
At some point. I hadn't planned to take it in June. Right? That's not what I did.
Oh.
I would like to take it.
Okay.
I would like to.
I just thought it was. I thought it was rock solid, but nope. All right.
No. Because there are a couple of things that I want to decide what I want to do with it. Because if I'm gonna have basically 3 months off, I might as well find something enjoyable to do during that time instead of sitting around playing video games, not doing the podcast, not putting out the audio version of the podcast, procrastinating on the work that I still have to do.
I was going to say, video games is not a waste of time.
Oh,
video games is a great use of time.
It's a great use of time, but I get bored playing things very quickly. It's very problematic at the moment that I've... The thing I've played the most in the last week is... I played Halo with friends. Anything that I play socially doesn't count in this. When I sit down and play video games by myself is what I'm talking about.
Okay.
Is Outriders, which came out last year and is shit.
Is that the motorcycle game?
No. It's like Square Enix's version of Destiny. It's like a looter shooter. And it's not particularly great. The dialogue's cringy. The characters are bland. The world is nice and it looks pretty. But I saw that the other day that there's new DLC coming out of this. I'm not going to buy it, but it sure would be a nice time to go back and finish the game. So I've been playing that, and I'm like, it's very generic gameplay. It's point gun at bad guy, pull trigger, and collect loot, rinse, repeat.
Yeah.
But it's consistent. It's level. It's even. I don't know how to describe it other than when I play Skyrim VR, I'm just I could be playing this sitting because it's not any different to the regular game. And so I play the regular game and I'm like, well, this is just Skyrim. And I played that 11 years ago.
Turns out.
So I'm having just playing single player games is a bit rough at the moment.
Understandable.
But back to what I want to do with my sabbatical, it all comes down to money. And I'm waiting for my tax season to come because we don't actually pay our tax till end of June, July.
Mm-hmm.
And I have some capital gains tax to pay, so I don't know how much I'll get back, if any. So I don't want to go spending a bunch of money if I've got a bill coming. And also by the end of this year, my Titan will be done. My 2-foot tall Warhammer Mini.
You really dare call this a mini, Omicron?
I can play it on the tabletop with the other minis.
Tabletop.
So I'm gonna have another bill there, and so depending on what I want to try and do with the sabbatical, it's best just to wait at the moment.
Fair, smart. I think that's a smart thing to do.
Yep.
Well, good. How's your staffing level currently?
So
is dumb coworker still extremely dumb?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so that counts as 0.3 of a coworker.
Yeah. As Aki points out, I also owe her some money for the Steam Deck I pre-ordered because I want to play PC games by myself, I guess. It's but while I'm on the toilet.
Through?
Look, it was shiny and it was new. I wanted it.
That I understand. Very fair. Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. I mean, conceptually,
Yeah,
I like what are they called? The Nintendo version, the Switch. I like the Switch. It's just very low hardware and like games look like crap on it. And so Steam Deck is just a better version of that. And so I should enjoy playing games on it. Fingers crossed.
I've heard good things. The reaction to this has not been so massively negative that it's everywhere on the internet, so that's good.
It's also not been positive enough that I'm really seeing much about it, though.
That is also true. Yeah. That's in between super awesome and terrible. So, like most things, I think most things belong there.
Yeah. I mean, as long as it works, I'll be fine. I mean, it's not available in Australia, so I gotta pay for shipping from Arky, which
I know how that works.
Yeah, that's gonna be great. But I'll get here and I'll be like, well, I can't plug this into my wall because it's the wrong power. Like,
yeah, you just need an adapter. That's easy.
Well, it'll charge by USB-C, I believe, and I've already got like 7 of them lying around for other things. Yeah, so it shouldn't be too much of an issue.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah.
Back in the day, if you bought something that was intended for a different electric environment than what you had, you had to get an adapter, and finding one wasn't always easy. So
true facts.
Yeah.
But
yeah, so your coworker, if your coworker can't understand written instructions and follow them,
well, okay, so
how useful are they?
One of our other coworkers, our pastry cook, took some time off to look after his mother because his mother lives with him and she's got cancer and like he needs to look after her, which fair enough. If he wants to take time off to do that, go for it. So she's also capable of doing his job, which is like cake decorations and stuff. So she hasn't even been helping me. She's like, the days I'm not there, she'll do baking. The days I'm there, she just packs and does like cakes and stuff and leaves me alone. So I'm basically back to being one person.
Cool. That's real awesome.
But we're not doing hot cross buns, so it's a much more manageable workload.
Everything's relative. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not having hot boiling tar poured all over my head. So it works a lot better.
That is true. Although she keeps like... Okay, so I don't want to sit here and bitch about my coworkers because, yes, she's an idiot. But she's also saying that I'm getting married in June, I'm taking 2 weeks off of that, and we're going to immediately start trying to have kids. I'm like, good for you. That's what you want to do? Great. And she goes, and then the moment I'm pregnant, I'm quitting. I'm like, what? Like, it's baking is too dangerous to do when you're pregnant. And I'm like, when you're like 9 months, maybe. But
she said that?
Yeah, she said that. And I'm like, wait. And I'm like, I said this in my head because I don't want to give her any ideas. If she wants to quit, that's fine. I'm like, you don't want to take advantage of like maternity leave and like get a year off paid, all right, for maternity leave? You're just gonna quit?
Good point.
I'm like, you do you, sister.
You should take maternity and then quit.
Nobody clip that and send it to her, please. Let's just let her leave.
What if you tried that? You think the company would have any standing to like say, hold your horses, please?
What if I tried to take maternity leave?
No. If someone took maternity leave and then immediately quit.
No. It happens all the time.
I would feel morally compromised if I did that.
Well, I don't know if it happens all the time.
She's taking the moral high ground and she's just like, I don't want to take advantage of the maternity leave policy and then immediately quit. I'm quitting and I'm taking care of myself, damn it.
I don't know.
She's probably not doing that.
Probably not doing that. When I was in high school, we had a principal who, in like 60 years of work, she never took like any sick leave or holidays, and she obviously didn't go for maternity leave. She's like 76 or whatever. But she was like, "Yeah, I'm retiring." Like this was in a school assembly, and all the kids are sitting there going, "Like we don't give a shit." And so the vice principal is going to be stepping up and filling in the role. I'm like, why aren't they hiring a new main principal? It's because she was taking 4 years of leave and then quitting. Like
4 years?
Yeah.
Holy crap!
Like that's how much she had like clocked up because it just rolled over every time. Like it didn't expire.
Oh, I'd forget. Like around year 2, I'd be like, no, I don't have a job.
I'm unemployed.
Yeah, I'm totally unemployed. And then somebody would have to be like, no, Falcon, you have a job. You're just on 4 years of leave. Holy crap.
Well, I imagine the weekly paycheck coming in would keep you reminded.
Yeah, but maybe you just start forgetting where it came from. You're like, oh yes, of course, it's the weekly paycheck from whatever. I don't know what that is. I don't have a job. Yeah, there you go. It's my investments.
My
it's
trust
my patron
Yeah.
who encourages me to continue in the arts and sends me money every month.
The thing about taking time off is like when you're not at work, you're just spending money, right? Because there's like nothing to do in real life, right? There's some stuff, but typically if you're not, well, I mean, if you're like 60, you don't play a lot of video games typically. Not a lot of 60.
I mean, not this generation of 60-year-olds, but the next generation of 60-year-olds, yes.
But like whenever I've taken time off, it's like, well, what do? I spend money because, you know,
on what?
I don't know, movies, going out, you know, doing things. Like when you're just sitting at home and not going to work and spending like 10 hours working, I feel like you just spend more money. And I think taking 4 years off, you're going to spend a lot more money. So I would take 4 years off and then get another job maybe.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That makes sense. I don't know. I mean, I get it.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, yeah. Mr. Imperfect says, if you don't use your leave,
Just
they take
reset.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some people have it expire. Not in Australia.
I mean, that's got to be the law. There's no way your company's like, this is how we're going to do this.
Oh, no, of course. No, that's the law.
Okay. Huh. Maybe that might, I don't know. That might be the reason everything's so gosh darn expensive in your country is there 20% of your workers are on 4-year leaves. And all this money is going to pay people for zero production.
I mean, so the thing is that the company just puts aside money to pay that person their leave that they accrue every year. So if you take it all your leave every year versus you take it all at once at the end of your thing, they pay you the same amount anyway.
So, okay, so if they're setting the money aside the entire time, then fair enough.
Right, well,
Then
I mean, they have to, I think. Like, well, I mean, they don't have to, but it would make sense to, right?
Yeah, it'd be smart to, but I don't know. Companies aren't always smart.
That's true.
I could totally see a company being like, this person's taking their 2 years of leave. It will cripple us as a company and we're going to go bankrupt. Darn it. We should have thought ahead.
Right. Well, I mean, I imagine the way a lot of this stuff works is because our company hires something like 1 in 60 Australians, like very big multi-billion profit company, is that they have so many people accruing so much leave that if they always save it and throw it into a big pot, keeping it in the bank and earning the interest is not an insignificant amount of money for the company. Right?
That's true. I mean, interest rates have been garbage for the last decade, but they're
True.
going up, I guess.
But I mean, I assume that they do business shenanigans and invest it.
Yeah.
Because
if they're smart, they're probably doing that. Yeah.
Yeah. So,
of course, the stock market's garbage right now, but
it's true.
Yeah. Generally not a bad idea.
Yep. Well, who knows what they're doing? They're making it work. That's the thing.
Right. Well, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm glad to hear that people are smart, I guess. Man, 2 years of leave. I would forget. I would wake up one day and be like, I'm unemployed. This is nice. How am I going to pay my mortgage?
I'm surprised you don't wake up like after a Sunday and be like, I'm unemployed. You've got 3 brain cells. How do you know to go back to work on a Monday?
Sometimes it's hard.
I mean, I assume you have like sticky notes or like, are you like
Memento?
Memento, yeah. Under that hoodie, you've just got a bunch of tattoos being like,
Yeah.
connect to Office. Wi-Fi password is
Yeah. VPN to Office around 9 a.m.
Coworkers' names are Jill, Bill, and Bob.
Right. Coworkers you haven't seen for years. Actually, they've been doing by like every other week paid company lunches for us.
Oh, really?
Which is actually something my boss brought up too. He's like, so they're willing to pay for 12 people to go out to a restaurant, have lunch, alcohol included, every 2 weeks. But they won't give you more than a 3% raise? What the hell? They're probably paying more for one of those lunches than the entire cost of that raise for you this year. And I'm like, maybe 2 of the lunches.
Maybe 2 of the lunch. Well, that's 2 of the lunches for the cost of the lunch for 12 people is equivalent to a 3%, like a 5% raise for one person. But if there's 12 people, but if there's 12 people, then a lunch every 2 weeks, that's what, 26 lunches in a year is still less than like 6 people. So instead of paying everyone the full amount, the lunches are actually way cheaper for the company.
Right. No, that's true.
Yeah.
It is. But still, it just feels...
It feels out of shape. It's like, you won't give us the money we feel we're owed, or potentially are owed, just to keep up with inflation. But you're going to take us all out for lunch at a relatively nice place. It's not like Chuck E. Cheese or something. It's...
Yeah. Right. No, it's pretty nice place. Sometimes I mean it varies, but it's always fairly nice. And again, I do make a point to mention that alcohol is involved because booze is not cheap. If people are just getting whatever, hamburgers or a chicken dish or something like that, it's not as much of a big deal.
Right. Well, I don't know how much alcohol costs in Utah. So like how much is a bottle of Jack? How much is a case of beer? What are your how many of your coworkers drink? Who knows? You know, I don't.
That is the truth.
Yeah.
Here, let me take a look real quick. We went to this place called the Bohemian Brewery on last Thursday.
Oh.
So their entrees are like, $15.
Okay.
If you get the tuna, i.e. tuna, it's $22. Whatever. Like nothing's crazy expensive here. So let me see if they have...
You can get a giant pretzel for $11.
Yeah, that was good. With like this cheesy dipping sauce. Delicious.
That sounds nice.
That was good. Why does it only have brunch beverages?
Oh, okay. So they are a brewery and they have their own beers. That's cool.
Yes. Yeah.
That is
pretty cool.
The right way to do it. There's no price on any of these that I'm looking at for the beers.
I'm looking at it too, and I'm like, they have a lot of information, but not how much it costs.
Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know. Like a Bloody Mary's $10.
It's not great. Like I've seen cheaper.
Yeah.
Yeah. But most
I don't know. Do you think their like custom made German Pilsner is more or less than $10?
I would probably put it around $10. Like if they're charging $10 for a Bloody Mary, right? A loaded Bloody Mary at that, $5 just for a regular, they're probably only charging like $7.50 for a beer. I would imagine.
Could be. Probably depends on what it is too.
Yeah.
Range. Anywho.
So
the point is that I actually have been seeing my coworkers face to face every couple of weeks. So that's nice.
Yeah. Fair enough. What was I going to say? Made me lose my train of thought.
Sorry. Surprised that doesn't happen more often.
Happens a lot. I just don't mention it. I found out that there is a brewery in England that makes Warhammer themed beers.
Ooh, that's exciting. Yeah.
They do not ship. Like you have to go there and buy that.
There you go. You're going to have to go to England. I don't see the problem with this. You're going to have some leave. Just go to England.
Going to England is expensive.
Yeah, you can stay with Omicron. We'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't want to be in the same Discord server as us at the moment. He doesn't want me in his house.
That's because he's been going outside and hanging out with real people.
Outside?
Omicron's coming out of his... Yes.
No, why?
No, I'm saying he'll be more willing to let you stay at his house because he has experience with outside. You don't have to go outside.
I'd have to go outside to get there.
That's true. Be on a plane with a bunch of other people in a confined space for a long time.
Yeah, not really my jam.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't hate flying. I'm not like afraid to fly, but I don't know.
It's not enjoyable. I'm never like, man, that flight was refreshing and I feel great.
You've clearly never flown first class.
That's true. Have you?
No.
Oh.
I've flown Tiger Air, which is like a bus on wheels. It's not like
They didn't even have first class.
I said a bus on wheels. Like, think about that.
Yeah.
It's like a bus,
like
with,
a bus
wings.
with wings. Yay.
Wings. There we go.
There you go. There you go. It's something to think about. You know people who live in England?
I know a person who lives in England. I don't think I know any others.
Fair. I mean, Caden's in Hungary. It's not too far.
It's true.
Just drive.
I should make friends with the Muslim, maybe?
Yeah.
Just try and befriend your local streamer, everyone, for where you want to plan your holidays.
And I mean, the Muslim's not as popular as he used to be, so he's not getting swamped with requests, right?
I mean, he's probably doing all right. I would imagine.
Yeah, well, I'm sure. I'm just saying he's not constantly like pestered by fans. So if you
come stay at his house,
or for anything,
you reckon? Right? You reckon?
Yeah, yeah.
I think he's pretty popular. I mean, I would consider every interaction in your Discord server with you to be the equivalent of pestering by fans, right? Like, let's take that as a benchmark.
Yeah.
Right. I think just in terms of scale, the Muslim's bigger than you are.
Of course. He's a much better player. He's been around for a long time. He's been doing some premiere casting recently, too.
And I watched him this morning casting Valencia.
There you go. And he's good. I think he's a good caster. Yeah. I like him.
He and Katz were having the best back and forth because Katz, I guess, is not English first language.
Right.
And so
Peru.
Exactly. The Muslim would be like, all right, you're going to do the intro? And Katz would be like, you got it. And so Ben would be like, wait, you want me to do it? He's like, no, you can. And so the string would come back in and they'd just sit there in silence.
Looking at each other through sideways.
It was
awesome.
It was really funny.
I need to watch some more Valencia.
You should.
Fun stuff.
You should. I lost all my money betting on all my fun bucks, not my actual money. On Hero Marine to beat Hearthstone. Didn't happen.
Really?
Yeah, beat him in I think it was like 3-1 at a best of 5.
Did Hearthstone played Protoss?
Yeah.
He's been messing around with Zerg recently, doing some Bly shenanigans, and I was wondering maybe he was off racing, but okay.
No, he was playing the Protoss. Going like
good on you, Hearthstone. That's impressive.
Yeah. Good for him.
How do you do it?
Well, he was not doing Sky Toss, so it was a lot of like Disruptors and Colossus and Stalkers and Charge Lots, all that fun stuff.
Sounds like a pretty typical PvT. Yeah.
Yep.
Is it just like good disruptor hits?
Oh yeah, god tier. Sometimes
Okay.
like there were a couple that whiffed, and every now and then like Disruptors are slow, so the Liberators would siege up, everything would pull apart, and then the Disruptors would just be like, we're by ourselves, blah blah blah. Like it happens, but you know, like get a couple good hits and things can swing. So yeah.
I mean, yes, that's kind of PvT in a nutshell. Sometimes is did you get 3 or 4 really good hits with the Disruptors? Congratulations, you win.
Right.
Anywho, we need to talk about Kenobi. We haven't talked about Kenobi yet.
Kenobi happened.
Kenobi. So they released the first 2 episodes on Disney Plus.
It's true. Actually, hold on. Before we go to Kenobi, because then we can just say everything after here will be spoilers for Kenobi if you've not seen it. Let's go back to StarCraft because we have GSL groups.
Yay.
Yeah, let's do GSL groups. You need a link?
I got it.
Oh, okay. So what do we
Season
have? Season 2, yeah.
Yeah. Group A is Rogue, Gumio, Hero, and Dong Regu. Man, so that's Rogue and
Hero.
Who the heck is number 2 here? I guess.
I mean, it's a tight spot for second in that group.
It is. It's crazy tight. I would not put money on anyone making out of that except for Rogue.
Yeah. Definitely Rogue. Everyone else is pretty close. And, I'll allow it. Group B, Zest, Sue's back, Bunny, and Beyond.
Sue's back. You gotta pick Sue.
I mean, he's got to come second in the end, in the grand finals.
Exactly. So he has to make it out of the group. So Zest and Sue.
You reckon Zest and Sue?
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. I mean, Bunny and Beyond are both really good Terrans, but
they are.
I think Zest is probably better than both of them at the moment.
I think so too. And I could totally see Beyond or Bunny taking Sue down because who knows how in shape he is for StarCraft.
True.
But just for the sake of he needs to finish second, he needs to get through the group. So Sue. The memes. Group C.
Mm-hmm. Who do we have?
Dark, Ryung, Armani, and Zone.
Zone.
Zone. That's interesting.
So it's Dark and then another run for second place between everyone. Well.
So Ryung had a great run in Katowice. Zone took some games off of Maru at Katowice. He's having a good year. So I say second place is between Rung and Zone there.
I would agree. I don't think Amani gets out.
Yeah.
No.
I'm gonna go Ryung. I'm just really impressed with how Ryung's playing in 2022.
Okay. I'm gonna bet on the Terran because I prefer it over Protoss. Group D, Trap, Australia, Cure, and Ragnarok. Trap and Cure?
Cure's having a good 2022. He's playing pretty well.
Yep.
I think that's fair.
That's fair. Yep.
I don't like what Australia or Ragnarok are up to currently.
No. But hey, good to see someone from NA represented.
It is. Way to represent Max Power. Max Angel. Max Angel. Max Power is the Homer character.
Yes.
Group E, Creator, Keen, Solar, and Maru. It's a pretty good group.
Does Maru get out of this group?
Again, if Maru plays to potential of Maru, then absolutely.
Yeah.
If he falls on his face and rubs his feet all over the keyboard, then no.
It's true.
So yeah, Maru.
Creator.
It's just Solar can traditionally get to the playoffs.
Right.
That's where he collapses. He's really pretty good at getting out of groups.
True. Who didn't Solar have a good run in GSL literally last season? No, it was Creator. Creators that I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Because Creator was in the finals. He just lost to Rogue.
Yeah.
No shame in that.
So that's tough. Creator, Solar, and Mario I could see all getting out.
Poor Keen.
Yeah, sorry, Keen. I like you, Keen. You're a good Terran. You really are. But this is GSL we're talking about, so someone's got to fall off.
Right. Well, all right.
I don't know. If you had to pick, who do you think?
I think Creator.
Creator and
Maru.
Maru?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't see Maru not getting out here.
God, that is the hardest group.
Yep.
Solar at his best is really scary good. But it's not an offline event. So he's not gonna be at his very best. So in that case, yeah, I think you're right. I think Solar is the odd man out here. But I wouldn't be shocked if he made it through.
No, wouldn't be shocked. Be nice.
Right.
Also, this is group stage 1. We have exactly 6 Protoss, 7 Terran, 7 Zerg, as balanced as it can get. Thank you,
Beautiful.
David Kim.
Beautiful.
Let's hope
Thank you
it
so
stays
much,
that
David
way.
Kim, who left the company like 6 years ago.
Look, you got to pay homage to the master of balance.
Yes,
and keep the meme going. Obviously, the real reason.
Yes, absolutely. It's true.
Yeah. All right.
He's true. All right. Kenobi time.
Kenobi. Everything after here will be spoilers for Kenobi. Please leave if you haven't watched it or you want to watch it.
So the big surprise of Kenobi is that it's about Leia. It's about Obi-Wan protecting Leia, not Luke. Nobody expected that. We all figured it would be an Obi-Wan and Luke adventure protection story.
Well, I don't think I did.
Oh, okay.
I don't remember seeing anyone saying it's going to be Obi and Luke, because mainly just Luke has enough interaction with Kenobi in New Hope, where he's like, old Ben, you mean, maybe they mean that old hermit that is around. Like, he doesn't seem super familiar, not like, oh, old Ben, that guy that saved me from some bounty hunters when I was a child, right?
Well, right. And then we have the same problem with Leia, though.
Right,
skipping ahead a little bit.
Only a little. All we know about Leia's previous interaction with Obi-Wan before they rescue her at the Death Star, and that's where Ben dies. So, spoilers. Is that she sends him a message that she has at least been told of his existence or knows him. So, I mean, I think it makes much more sense to make it about.
But here's what she says.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
General Kenobi, years ago, you served my father in the Clone Wars.
That's true. Yes.
She doesn't say, you saved my ass when I was 10, when I got literally kidnapped and taken to another planet.
Look, she's going to get mind wiped at the end of this. It's not going to matter.
Just a little rehypnol. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, there are some problems with this show, and that's one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, maybe she was worried that message would get intercepted by Imperials, and so she had to be like, look, I'm a diplomat. I need to present this as a formal, request for aid. And it's like, General Kenobi, yours sincerely.
My father. We've never met. Yeah.
Sincerely, Princess Leia Organa and Alderaan, thank you. God, I feel bad. I feel bad. That's disgraceful.
They got blown up. It's fine. No one there cares about that.
It's true. It's the first time I've ever had a location shoot on Alderaan.
It's true. No, I think there's a couple shots in one of the prequels where Organa's on Alderaan.
Okay.
But it's like 4 seconds. Like he's on a phone call with somebody else and it shows him in his palace and then it goes back.
Right.
Yeah. So there's barely any Alderaan in the prequel.
Yeah. Can we just say that they do not look after that child very well?
No.
They're just letting her run around a forest. And I get it that you're the king's queen and this is the king's forest or whatever. But I mean, people just land and walk into it and steal your kid.
Yeah. And not even that far. It's not like she's miles away from the palace.
Right.
She's within running distance for a 10-year-old.
Yeah.
So you don't have observation bots. You don't have the airspace above the Imperial Palace controlled enough to where a random craft can land inside a, I don't know what, half-mile radius
of the palace,
and just casually hang out and wait for your daughter to wander into their
Even
clutches.
Better, this is on a processional day where other members of the royal family are coming to visit, and so there would be heightened security.
Right. They'd be watching every ship that came in because there's a ton of VIPs hanging out.
Right. You would think that, but no, apparently not.
Why is this so hard? I don't get it. So she stumbles into these bounty hunters who casually are like, hey, how's it going? And she's like, yo, what's up? Fancy meeting some adults here in the woods. And they're like, we're here to kidnap you. And she's like, crap. And then she starts running. And I'm like, okay, so she gets caught instantly.
No.
She's not fast.
I mean, she should, but no, she doesn't. My blinds are playing havoc with my camera because the sun's rising, apparently.
It doesn't look too bad. I think it's okay.
Yeah, I'm trying to work on it.
Yeah. So I don't get it because she doesn't get away. They catch her eventually. So what's the point of it's Leia's real fast. Well, she can outrun full-grown adults. She cannot.
She's force sensitive, so she has to be able to divine the right path through the woods where she
has to understand these are adults who won't duck under a tree branch that is in the way.
These are adults who won't climb through some shrubs as she climbs between like the cluny of a tree or something, right?
Right. Like a bunch of people on Reddit have had the same thought. Just have her understand the woods better than they do. Have her know of a secret tunnel that only she can fit through. They can't pursue her through there, right? Or have her climb a tree. Like anything other than running, and there are the hazards of a chest-high branch and an ankle-high branch. And that's what saves her.
Also, I would like to say that blasters have stun functionalities on them.
Yes, they sure do.
So we could have also just, zapped the kid.
Right.
Yeah.
Easily. Stun rays travel faster than 10-year-olds can run. And the other thing, there are kids who can run, and there are kids who cannot run. And this actress, she's a fine actress. I like her. She can't run. She's like bow-legged. She's not fast at all. She's toddling. She's kind of like rocking back and forth as she runs, and it's not a running motion.
She's a child who's been told to run from point A to their mark.
Right. They need to there's a hungry dog after you. And then play the sound of a dog barking so she actually gets afraid. I'm sure that's legal in Hollywood.
Oh, probably, sure. When she walks up to like her play area in the forest, like somehow in a giant damn forest, the bad guys set up and wait by this one tree, and she comes to that one tree, awfully convenient.
Right. Right. What I'd like to believe is they've been watching her.
Oh, maybe. Maybe.
And they know her tendencies.
Maybe. I like to think that she just hangs out at that one tree. Like, this is where I hang out.
That's all she ever does.
Yeah. Right. It's like her clubhouse or whatever. Which also, just build a goddamn clubhouse, so it makes sense why she goes there then. Anyway, when she walks in, you can see her looking down to be like, all right, where's my mark? Where do I have to stop?
Right. So it's like, look, if she gets caught anyway, just have her get caught. It cannot be important to the story that she can somehow, you want us to think she can outrun 4 adults who are chasing her.
Yeah.
But then she does it later.
Yeah.
In episode 2, there's this rooftop thing and Obi-Wan can't catch her and the Inquisitors can't catch her. It's like, why is this an important thing in your show? What is going on?
Like, it's not even on the rooftops. She is a wanted child. Well, no, she's not a wanted child. She's just a child being chased by someone who has a bounty on them in Bountiesville, right?
Yes.
Running
and
through
by
a market.
A literal Jedi. Yes.
Also, I would like to point out that they left a literal hive of scum and villainy to go to an even worse place. It's like, why? Why did you have to invent even worse vills, right?
There's no internet here, apparently.
Maybe. All signals are blocked and you can't track people here.
That's what they said. There's local intranet, but no internet.
So stupid.
Oh, so dumb.
Also,
so there's just on the running thing real quick. There's a very specific part where they're running over the rooftops, and Loud Inquisitor, who really wants to kill Obi-Wan, and all the other Inquisitors think she's super annoying. I think Reva is her name. She's right there. She's behind Obi-Wan, who's chasing Leia, and then Leia falls, and Obi-Wan's like, gotta pull out the old Force. Hold on a second, gotta dust off the cobwebs.
Yep.
And that's like 30 seconds of him looking over the edge of a building and being like, don't let go, don't let go. And I'm like, this is the most helpful instruction I've ever heard in my entire life, Obi-Wan. She was like, I'm gonna you don't want me to let go? All right.
I mean, look, giving children and people in precarious situations obvious instructions, like, people panic and do dumb shit when they're like amped up on adrenaline and in dangerous situations. Yelling "don't let go" is better than like just yelling "I'm coming to get you," right? Like, they're both fine things to yell. It looks stupid in a script, right? I get it.
It does.
But what looks even worse is when he force pulls her like a tiny little bit to like float her down, and she lands safely, and then literally he walks around the corner to collect her. Like, he was like, I was up on the roof, now I'm down here. I have
We didn't
avoided
show
the
the
bounty.
audience. Yeah.
Yeah,
How did this happen?
How did it
Again,
happen? How did it-
Reva's in visual distance of Obi-Wan, and he stops, gets down, sees Leia, says, "Don't let go, don't let go, don't let go." She lets go. He force holds her, and Reva does not catch up and entirely disappears from the entire scene. What is happening? Why is this hard?
Also, I would like to take complaint with the force powers Reva exhibits. She uses like a force push to like knock over a chimney stack or something so she can run up it and then do a dump, like a front flip onto a higher rooftop. She could have just like you literally could have just force jumped from the one rooftop to the next one. It's so unnecessary. She's not like doing a front flip to dodge laser blasts or something, right? Like, she's just doing a front flip, and it's like the most tedious scene. She's going from one like unestablished place to another unestablished place. We don't care about either of these places. We just need to know that she's traveling, and it's a waste of time, and it annoyed me when I saw it.
Yes. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Do they not have a group of random fans come in to test screen for them, right?
I mean,
pull people in off the street. Here, watch this Obi-Wan episode. Tell us what's wrong about it. And everybody in the show goes, "How come that little girl cannot run those adults? It doesn't look convincing at all."
Right.
And then they fix it. Why is this hard?
Don't know.
Oh, it drives me crazy. Because there's a lot of other stuff that's good. I like the actress who plays Leia. I think she's doing a great job being a young Leia. She's a firebrand. She doesn't take shit from anyone, and that's how Leia was when she was grown up.
Here's the thing. That annoys me because one, it's a child actor, and child actors are never as convincing as people think they are. To me, like that's just a personal thing. I don't like them.
She's not gonna win an Oscar for this.
There was just on my old podcast, I was talking about this time a 9-year-old was nominated for an Oscar in like 2012, and The Onion called her a cunt. Which they later retracted, but I thought it was a funny joke and they shouldn't have done it. Shouldn't have retracted it. But
every once in a while, a child actor is insanely good, but it's very, very rare.
Very rare.
And so she's not that, and it's fine.
It's fine. Like, I will deal with it. But having her just be like, oh, she's basically a small layer, it's like, you have a way too good of a grasp on the situation, and like, just like situational awareness. I don't feel like this is a child. Like, this is someone who's just like, okay, you're rescuing me, cool, but I'm gonna like fight you at first. All right, I'm working with you. Oh no, maybe you're the bad guy now. Maybe this is a big ruse. She just runs off. It's like, you're a child. Right. Break down and cry. That is your job as a child. It's like, you can't just run off and like, she accepts every situation and then responds pretty accordingly in everything. It's like, oh, maybe you're the bad guy. You are the bad guy. I'm running. And then she gets away. Right? Like, it's, be a child. Like, don't be the badass heroine we know you are when you grow up. Right? Because you need to grow into that as a character. You can't just be awesome all the time.
Well, I don't know that she's awesome. But yeah, she didn't break down and have an emotional crying scene.
She had one when she looked at the ladybug that was broken. She was like,
She was bummed about her robot friend.
Yeah. Right. It's not like you've been kidnapped and potentially going to be sold into slave labor and no one will ever find you again. It's, my robot got stepped on.
Robot got smashed into a million pieces.
Yeah.
True, that did happen. Anyway, I don't know. Look, kids are different. Some kids would totally break down in a situation like that. Other kids are just tougher. I don't know what to tell you.
But she's a pampered princess. Like, she's not exactly like living on the streets. She's not a street kid. She's not the kid selling spice, right? Who's like, we're all someone's daughter at one point, right?
Yeah.
Like,
well, maybe she doesn't have the experience to know how much danger she's actually in.
Maybe, but tell to us that there is danger then, because if she doesn't know how much danger she is in, and like everything's fine every time she's like, nah, I want these gloves, and Obi-Wan's like, fine, I'll buy her the gloves, right? if she's just constantly getting away, or like, I'm going to run off through a black market bazaar and it's totally fine, then there is no danger. The child should be the point of view reference for the audience. Sell us the danger by making her scared.
Yeah, fair enough. Probably should have done that.
Probably should have.
Anywho, I don't know. I think she's fine. I think the choice, it's not her fault. That's how she's being written.
It's not the actor's fault. No, of course not.
Right.
No.
Anyway, it is interesting to see Obi-Wan being portrayed as broken as he is, right?
Mm-hmm. He would have severe PTSD.
Yeah. So that one Jedi's like, what's up? You're Obi-Wan. I know who you are. And he's like, dude, we don't know each other. Also, bury your lightsabers in the desert and never help anyone ever again. Bye. I was like, ooh.
On the one hand, I like the idea that Obi-Wan's like, this is evidence that could like draw unwanted attention to me. I'm going to bury these because that's the safest place. On the other hand, I hate it because it's like, now we're retroactively making the Last Jedi ending seem make much more sense. Let's go ahead and rebury these lightsabers in the sands of Tatooine, eh?
We're justifying Rey's decision.
Yeah.
Maybe that's all it is. That's good. I don't know.
I am a little annoyed that Obi-Wan's been there for 10 years. He's still living in a goddamn cave. And in another 10 years, he's going to have a hut and has not reburied his lightsabers. He's like, got him, just chilling in a box.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
maybe he went in, pulled him out of the desert and put him in a box and then went to visit Luke.
He didn't go to visit Luke. Well, Luke went to go and find him. His speeder broke down and they got attacked by sand people. And Obi-Wan just happened to be nearby. I guess maybe he used to live in that cave. Who knows? Who knows why he was nearby? But he has 10 years to build a house. He has 10 years for the Jedi race to become so... Not the race, Jedi Order. To become so unfamiliar. Like, everyone... In A New Hope, Han is like, look, I've been across the galaxy. I've seen charlatans galore. There's no such thing as the Jedi. There's no such thing as the Force. Like, people don't know, supposedly don't know what the Jedi are because the Imperials have been hunting them to existence. But here we are, we've got like Inquisitors in town square being like, sell us your Jedi. Like, sell them out, we will reward you. And people are just like, no, but we're just such a peaceful, loving community. We won't sell out one of our own. It's like, you're a hive of scum and villainy. Stop standing up for each other.
That's not how it's supposed to work at all. Okay, this all goes back to the fact that the initial world build for Star Wars is shaky and that Lucas did not do a good job with it. I learned the other day.
I would like to interject and say it is fine on its own. It's when you come into it and you tweak things that it starts to get shaky. It wasn't like an amazing foundation, but it was good enough for the 3-movie run that it was. And that when you have consistently tried to add on to it, it's become shakier and shakier. That is what I would say.
The more they revisit it.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, but I learned the other day, Anakin was not Darth Vader in Star Wars.
No?
In the original Star Wars, Obi-Wan says, Darth Vader killed your father. He literally means he killed your father because they're different people.
Right, it wasn't until...
And then later Lucas was like, oh, what if? What if Darth Vader was Luke's father? And then totally retroed it.
Right.
Which is insane.
It's insane, but it works. Arguably, it works and it's fine.
Well, yeah. I mean, as long as you're okay with Luke being, yo, Force Ghost Obi-Wan, you told me Darth Vader killed my dad. And then Obi-Wan's like, well, that's true from a certain point of view. And then we move on. Right.
It is fine. Like, Obi-Wan wanted to protect Luke. People lie to people all the time to, quote unquote, protect them. All the time. It's fine.
Right. But sending Luke to kill his dad without telling him it's his dad is like, holy shit, Obi-Wan. Come on, man. Be straight up about this.
I mean, you never sent him to kill him. You sent him to Yoda.
Yeah. And no, Yoda... but there is a discussion that they have in Empire where he's like, I can't kill my father. And Obi-Wan's like, well, I guess then the Emperor wins. Like, way to go, kid.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so he's sending him to kill Darth Vader then.
Yeah.
That's the point I'm making.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Vader should have died, and he did. Like, I mean, it's
after he killed the Emperor. He saved the galaxy.
Look,
because there was still good in him. He wasn't abject evil.
No, but like that's we know we want to write eventually into like the prophecy about how this person will bring balance to the Force, so we have to have him kill the real bad guy. And like that's also why the Emperor gets invented, and he wasn't even mentioned in the first one, right? And
he was not. That's true.
So like there's reasons things are wonky, right? But it's fine enough for that original run.
Yeah, but again, the more they revisit it, it's dangerous to do so because it pokes holes in existing lore that they've established 40 years ago.
And I hate the trend of like bringing up or showing like artifacts is I think the right way to like the right term. It's like cultural relics. It's like, oh, he's buying spaceship toys. Oh, that's the spaceship toy that Luke is playing with in A New Hope when he's supposed to be like cleaning the droids. It's like, guys, everything needs to have come from somewhere special, right? Like,
right, and it's like it's 10 years later. Like, what toy did you get when you were 10? Were you still dinking around with it when you were like 17 years old? Come on.
I still have my Game Boy.
When's the last time you used your Game Boy?
That's an excellent point. A couple of years ago.
Yeah, I guess maybe he's poor. Like this is all he's got.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah. Anywho,
yeah, I mean, Uncle Owen eventually gives him the toy, I guess.
Yeah, apparently, that was an interesting discussion they had with Owen and Obi-Wan too. Or Owen's like, "Dude, you get no contact with the boy,
right?
Zero. We saw what happened when you trained his dad."
That's brutal. I hate that. Like, as much I love all that interaction, but even that line was like, oh, right in the feels. That's some emotional damage.
It was, and then Obi-Wan's like, "Well, maybe you'll die."
God.
Oh man, how dark would it be if they proved that Obi-Wan saw the stormtroopers coming for Uncle Aunt Beru and Uncle Owen, and just let them go because he knew if they were dead, it'd be easier for him to get Luke. Holy shit. That probably totally happened.
That would be crazy, but Luke was at Obi-Wan's at the time. Like, he was preoccupied taking care of an unconscious Luke who'd been, like, knocked out by sand people. Tusken Raiders.
Oh, that's good point. Good point. He would have, though.
He would have, because he let the other Jedi die. And he wasn't... Yeah. There was nothing he was going to do if Uncle Owen got killed by the Inquisitors. Like, he was 90% worried about being sold out. Yep. That's great scene.
Yeah. So I'm curious. I don't know. Like, I'm curious about what Obi-Wan's arc is going to be in this show, because obviously he's reestablished his connection to the Force.
Mm-hmm.
That was a very specific thing they showed him doing.
He wasn't like disconnected. He just wasn't using it. I don't think he was disconnected in the same way Luke was in Last Jedi. I think that's different because he's talking to Qui-Gon all the time. He's like, if you're there, I could use...
He's trying to.
Right, but that means he knows he can still like reach out into the Force and like try to communicate with the Force Ghost. Like, when he goes into hiding, Yoda's like, look, I have some training for you. It's the shit Qui-Gon was working on. You should give it a go. It's some good stuff.
Right.
It's how to stay into a trilogy well after you die.
Exactly. I don't know. I don't know how else to really translate the scene where he needs to save Leia's life here, and it takes him a second, right?
Well, she's a falling child. Like, there's gravity weighing on her. Like, it's a heavy thing. He was...
You think Obi-Wan in the prequels would have been like, this child weighs 90 pounds. Yeah, got her. Woo!
No, because he was much more active with his Force. The Force is like a muscle. He just hasn't exercised in a while. That's all. Because it draws attention. That's all. It's like he also can't fight as well as he could. Like he punches people and he's like, "Oh, that hurt my hand." You think he would have been doing that when he was fighting in the Clone Wars? No,
because he never punched things. He had a lightsaber.
He punched things. He took He took hits.
Yes, that's true.
He wasn't like kung fuing it, but he was like, "Hello there, General Grievous," and like limber enough to go toe to toe with like a robot with 4 lightsabers.
Yeah.
Now he's
with
like
a lightsaber that he kills using a blaster. He never tries to punch anything.
But like you have to swing a lightsaber. That's physical effort there. There's exertion, like strength involved. He's working his muscles. Now he's like, I fought 3 dudes in a hallway and I think I'm gonna die. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look, the Force is just like a muscle. He needs to use it regularly, and he hasn't been.
Okay.
That's all. Luke's separation is different.
Probably right.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep. All right. Well, So just what happens with Obi-Wan? Does he hang out with Leia the whole rest of the show?
I hope not.
That'd be interesting.
Also, I'm annoyed that he's like, I booked a ride from Tatooine directly to this place and nobody's gonna check transit records. Or do they think he's been hiding out there the entire time? I don't know. But like Obi-Wan is someone that the Empire is clearly like trying to find. At least they've got somebody working on it. This particular Inquisitor had a heart on for him for some reason, right? Maybe I'm wondering if she knew him when she was a Padawan, because he does mention that like the Inquisitors were Jedi who fallen during Order 66. They chose to side with the Sith, essentially. Right?
Or they were children and they were compelled to. Yeah.
Right. Either or. And I'm wondering if she knew him when she was a child on Coruscant as a Padawan or something. There's going to be something there.
So in that opening Order 66 scene, there's a little black girl.
Yeah.
It's got to be her. Like,
that's what I'm betting.
It's gotta be her.
That's what I'm betting.
So then the theory would be that she feels like the Jedi let her down, right?
Probably.
She was getting trained, and then Obi-Wan was in charge, and everything fell apart because Obi-Wan screwed up with Anakin. I don't know if she knows that, but she knows Obi-Wan was in charge, at least one of the people in charge, and he's still around, so we can still be mad at him.
I mean, she knew he was a Jedi Master on the council, and she's just like, maybe she's like working through the list. Like, I want to go find Yoda and
Obi-Wan. That's it, man. That's the list.
Well, there's other people. I just don't remember their names. They're all old people who
alive.
Not that are alive. Yeah, the people that are alive. But my point is, like, he's doing stuff and going places that it's like, okay, they will manage to get a picture of him and it's like show it all across this like space station or planet or wherever they are. It's like, oh, why don't we check transit logs? Does nobody here keep like a manifesto of their crew? It's like, you would know where he came from. You're the Empire. You can get that information by like swinging a lightsaber at people's faces. How do you not work out where he's been? Like, or where he goes? Like, he's going to leave some sort of a trace. And he's supposed to be a hermit. He's supposed to be like, I'm in hiding for 20 years. Right?
He has a day job, man.
He has a day. He has a day job.
That is that like beef?
No, that's a fish. That's like
fish.
That looks
desert fish.
Desert fish. I mean, space whale, and they pull it down. Who knows? Right?
Yeah. Also, what do you think? Okay, when he cut off a piece and wrapped it up and put it in his clothes,
like 4
was
times.
He stealing that?
Yeah. Well, technically, it's not stealing. The corporate term is shrinkage, because
he's shrinkaging that.
He's shrinkaging it. I imagine everyone would be doing it if they knew they were allowed to, but he's hiding it. He's putting it in his coat. But all these people show up with their own knives. I don't know. Maybe. Also, whatever it is, that big thing that they're cutting up, it's just sitting there. Like, everyone's like working off their shift, and like, I'm like, where's the shift to replace them? Why are they stopping? It's like, okay, great.
Right.
The only scum or villain in a wretched hive of scum and villainy is the guy who's short paying his employees.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, show that they're working like 14-hour days or 15-hour days. Make it really awful. It's
and also, how is it not cheaper to automate this thing? These are humans who are cutting meat and wrapping it up. How is that not robots? How is it cheaper to pay humans? I guess you're paying them half, so maybe that's the answer.
There's no like robot manufactories on Tatooine. Everything is like scraps and imports. So it'd be really, really expensive to bring in a automated, like to buy a brand new automation setup, like a factory, and then put it on Tatooine for this one space whale that they found, because this is an ad hoc job, right? Like they found this thing, we've got salvage rights, bro. And so we're just going to pull in some like cheap labor, cut this thing up, send it off to restaurants. You know?
Yeah.
It's not a legit business. Those are my solutions, theories, headcanons.
Yeah, fair enough. I think we're going to go back there at all. Will we ever see him working for those dudes?
I mean, I hope so.
That's the final shot. He's just hacking away at more fish.
Yeah, it's him back at his day job. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, dealing with Jawas who were selling him back his own stuff.
That was funny.
That was kind of funny, but at the same time, I'm like, this is why you need a house. You can't just live in a cave.
You need a door you can lock, good sir.
Right.
Yeah. I just thought it was really funny when he's like, look, man, if you're going to sell me back my own stuff, at least clean it. And the Jawa's immediate response is, cleaning's extra. Snarky little shits. It was just so perfect for a Jawa, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was really great.
Yeah. Anyway, so there's good stuff. There's some stuff that's annoying. Do you think... Okay, so Darth Vader's got to show up, right?
Yeah, I mean, they showed him. Yeah.
Right, but technically, they could have brought Anakin in solely for that one shot at the end of episode 2. They're not required to use him for anything else.
No, I think they show him. I
do too.
Is it a spoiler to say what I've seen on Twitter about the production of the show?
Yes.
Okay, then I will say no point.
All right. Okay. But yeah, no, I expect there to be more Darth Vader. So one of the theories is that Reva makes so much noise and is so interested in tracking down Obi-Wan and bringing him to Darth, which I think I talked about last week as being a potential thing that would happen.
You did, and at the time I was thinking, like, oh yeah, it's a show about like two middle managers fighting over like the bounty rights on Kenobi, and that's what it is.
And that's what it is. Right? So there's a theory that Reva oversteps, right? And that she, in killing the Grand Inquisitor, in not telling Darth Vader that they literally have found Obi-Wan, and he escapes because of that, right?
He's gonna kill
that. Maybe Darth just kills her. Yeah.
That I would actually be fine with that. Also, because I hate Inquisitors, I think the concept of having other Force users running around the Imperium, or the Empire, not the Imperium, is stupid, and I hate it. Right? Like, this is a rule of 2. If you just keep throwing more Force people at it, doesn't make it better. Also,
right, it just becomes the new Jedi Order. There's just a Sith Order you're establishing.
Right, there's Sith secret police. Also, their helicopter lightsabers is stupid. I hate them.
Yep.
I absolutely hate them. They would be so impractical, and like it's not real. It's sci-fi fantasy space opera. It's not supposed to be real, but spinning weapons is just a recipe for hurting yourself, right?
It really is. The other problem with the Inquisitors is they're the main antagonists. Well, ish. Darth does show up in Rebels,
right?
But like this Ezra kid, who's a 12-year-old Force sensitive, is running circles around the Inquisitors. You're like, okay, look, a literal child is constantly besting these people.
Well,
why should we be threatened by them at all?
Oh, we're not. They like one Inquisitor can't catch up to Obi-Wan, who's trying to catch a kid from falling off a building. Like, we're still not threatened by these people.
Correct.
So there's that.
It's just, there are mistakes being made here. Yeah. There's also the theory that the Grand Inquisitor is going to come back after getting stabbed in the chest with a lightsaber.
I mean, I would have been fine if he was like not dead immediately, like, because he's angry enough in the dark side that he's got the yellow eyes going on, and I've always figured that was like a physical attribute of being like super angry and Sith powery. Because like you
Yeah,
see
okay.
Anakin's like that when he's fighting on the volcano with Obi-Wan and stuff. And so he survives like getting, like Anakin survives getting like delimbed. So this guy
Yeah.
should survive for a little bit getting stabbed, and like if he was able to hold her there, being like, no, fuck you don't get to stab me, I'm the Grand Inquisitor.
That would have been so awesome.
That would have been way better and made more sense for
better.
why Obi-Wan's able to get away and get onto the automated ship, which would also have tracking logs, and she's just going to follow it.
That would have been so much better.
So much better. And it would have been an actual cool reason to have a lightsaber fight at least somewhere in these first 2 episodes that wasn't in the recap, you know?
Right. Oh, and it would have tied in with all of the other Inquisitors telling Reva that she's inexperienced and she doesn't know what she's talking about, and she's impetuous and she doesn't think. And then she tries to kill the Inquisitor and she can't. And he's like, what have we been telling you? Oh, that would have been so good.
It would have been.
Oh.
Yep.
Oh, that hurts. Okay. All right. Well, another episode tomorrow. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. I won't watch it tomorrow because I'll watch it in like 6 days. So that way I've got it fresh.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yep.
Oh, and I watched Top Gun Maverick.
Oh, yeah. You watched that propaganda
That was after
piece.
the pod.
Yeah.
I did. So good.
Yeah.
So fun. Like, as far as an summer movie with action, roller coaster ride, keeps you engaged, good characters, and so much crazy stuff happening. It's a really, really fun ride. And also the single most impressive piece of propaganda ever put out by the U.S. military.
In the aftermath of the original Top Gun in 1986, the Navy reported a 500% increase in recruitment. So I'm wondering if there will be something similar with this.
I can't imagine there won't be. There's gotta be. Will it be 500%? I don't know. I don't think so. I think the attitude towards the military now is different than 86.
Sure.
So probably not as much, but I would be shocked if there wasn't a really noticeable bump.
Wow. I wonder if it won't be like 500% because the Navy just had exceptionally poor recruitment at the time and then had a massive sudden spike. And now it's better than it was. It's still really, really good. It's just, you're not going to see much more of an improvement than you really can. Who knows? Because it's not like the Navy's like running out of people.
Right.
know? There's still stuff in all their ships and they have a lot of people on their ships. I watched a video on like the cooks of what like they make to serve a ship in the Navy, and it's like fascinating, like the amount of stuff they make, and like in the quantities. Yeah.
I've heard that in the Navy you get steak and lobster the day before they announce everyone's getting extended on their tour. So if you ever get steak and lobster, you're like, crap.
Oh yeah, maybe. That's funny.
That is funny.
Cool.
All right, so that's it. I guess we were way over. We should probably wrap it up.
That's fine. Yep.
Super good pod. That was fun.
Definitely.
All right, so that is going to be it from us today. This has been Somicron and Falcon Paladin with another edition of the Falcon Paladin Hour, streamed live at twitch.tv/Somicron. You can also support it directly at patreon.com/Somicron. And if you're interested in maybe buying some merch to also kind of support the pod, you can do that at falconpaladin.store.
Help supplement our incomes now that interest rates, inflation rates are killing us.
Somicron didn't get a raise and I got a 3% raise.
Yep.
Truth. So, help us keep up with inflation.
Buy a shirt.
Exactly. All right, so that's going to be it from us. And until next time, as always, thanks for hanging out. Thanks for listening. And above all, you take care of yourself. Goodbye.
Bye.